Hi children, welcome to the class. I am Srinivas sir. This is Social Studies, Class 8th, Chapter 4, The Polar Regions, Part 2. Dear children, in Part 1 of this lesson, we have discussed what is called polar region, what is called tundra, what is called tundra vegetation, and how many seasons are there in tundra region, and what is called permafrost. Once again, I will recall the main points which we have discussed already. Let us start. The region which lies near the poles is called the polar region. The Arctic Circle is the boundary line of this region. The northern parts of the continents within this polar region is known as the tundra. Tundra means very cold. The tundra region has a unique type of vegetation. It is called the tundra vegetation. There are mainly two seasons in this tundra region. They are winter and summer. Spring and autumn are only short periods between winter and summer. During the winter season, the sun never rises continuously for some months. It is almost dark throughout the November, December and January. These 3 months are the coldest months in tundra region. During this winter season, all the water bodies which are located in this tundra region became into ice. Due to the cold, the upper soil surface of this region is frozen into a rock-like state all through the year. This is called permafrost. In this region, the ground is very cold and very hard. That is why it is called permafrost. Due to the severe cold, dark and icy conditions, all the plants die. So, most of the tundra region is treeless. We cannot see any trees in this tundra region because the soil is very cold and very hard. Due to the harsh conditions, very tough conditions, birds and animals leave this region and migrate elsewhere. Summer season in tundra region. The sun begins to shine in the tundra region around February and March. The summer season begins around February and March. During the summer months, the sun remains in the same place and appears 24 hours. For almost 3 months from May to July, the sun never sets. It shines all 24 hours, but the sun does not rise over the head. It just hovers a little above the horizon. The horizon is the place where the earth appears to meet the sky. When summer season approaches, many multicolored plants, lichens, grass, shrubs and berries sprout all round. They bear flowers and fruits of different colors. The birds and animals which are migrated to other regions return to this region during the summer season. These are the details which we have already discussed in part 1. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about the people who are living in this region. What are they called? Where do they live? What food they eat? What languages they speak? What tradition and culture they follow? And what is their lifestyle? We will discuss all these details in this lesson. Let us start. The Arctic is a polar region located at the northernmost part of the earth. The Arctic consists of the Arctic Ocean, adjacent seas, the part of Alaska, United States, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Siberia of Russia. Land within the Arctic region has seasonally varying snow and ice cover. The Arctic is a region of vast treeless plains, icy seas, and barren rocky islands. We knew already the Arctic is a vast region, very big region. The climate of the Arctic is characterized by long, cold winters and short, cool summers. We knew already there are two main seasons: long, cold winters and short, cool summers. There is a large amount of variability in climate across the Arctic, but all the regions experience long periods with some form of ice on the surface. The extreme Arctic climate makes the region a forbidding place to travel and a challenging place to live. We knew already this Arctic region is very dangerous. The climate is not suitable for human beings and plants and animals. Why? Because the climate is very cold and the cold winds blow throughout the year. Even so, some people have found ways to explore and live in this Arctic region. This harsh, cold land is the home of the indigenous people. The indigenous peoples have been living in this Arctic region for thousands of years. Dear children, can you guess who are these indigenous people? Those who are living in this Arctic region? Yes, children, you are right. Eskimos. You are right, children. The people who are living in this region are called Eskimos. I am repeating once again. The people who are living in this Arctic region are called Eskimos. The people are Eskimos. What is the meaning of Eskimos? The most commonly accepted meaning of Eskimo is snowshoe knitter. The Eskimo meaning is snowshoe knitter. The people who wear snowshoes are called Eskimos. I am repeating once again. The meaning of the Eskimo is snowshoe knitter. The person who wears snowshoes is called Eskimo. The Eskimos live in the scattered settlements. Settlements means the villages and towns. The place where we live is called the settlements. Scattered means separately. The Eskimos live in a small group or in a small village or in a small town. The groups and the villages and the towns are far from each other. The villages and towns are far from each other. Most of the Eskimos are living in Greenland, Canada, Alaska, and Siberia. We can find the Eskimos in Greenland, Canada, Alaska, and Siberia. The Eskimos were isolated from other people for thousands of years. Isolated means live alone. The Eskimos were lived lonely for thousands of years. They did not meet the people, those who are living outside of the Arctic Circle, Asia, Europe, America, and Africa. They did not meet these people for thousands of years. They lived by hunting and fishing. The Eskimos main occupations are hunting and fishing, and they developed a way of life well suited to their homeland. Their lifestyle is quite different from us. Our lifestyle and the Eskimos' lifestyle is quite different. There are two main groups referred to as Eskimos. In the Eskimos, there are two groups. They are Inuit and Yupik. Inuit in their language means the people are the real people. In their language, Inuit means the people are the real people. Yupik meaning also same, the real people. The word Yupik comes from the two words. It is formed by two words, yuk and pik. The word yuk meaning person or the man, the word pik meaning real or the genuine. So Yupik means the real people. The Eskimos are descendants of Siberia, now a part of Russia in the northern Asia. The Eskimos, those who are living in Greenland, Canada, Alaska, actually these are descendants of Siberian Eskimos. The Eskimos first entered North America about 5,000 years ago, crossing the Bering Straits from Asia. The Eskimos who were living in Siberia, Russia, first entered into North America about 5,000 years ago by crossing the Bering Strait, which is located between Asia and North America. See children, this is Russia and this is Alaska. Russia is located in Asia and Alaska is located in USA. So between these two lands there is a sea, it is Bering Sea. And between these two lands there is a strait, it is called Bering Strait. What is a strait? A strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two seas or two large water bodies. So there is a Bering Strait between Arctic Ocean and the Bering Sea. Bering Strait connected two water bodies, Bering Sea and Arctic Ocean, and separates Russia from Alaska, US. There is a Bering Strait between Russia and Alaska. So 5,000 years ago, the people who were living in Siberia in Russia crossed this Bering Strait and settled in Alaska, Canada, Greenland, and in some other areas which are located in Arctic region. The Eskimos speak different languages, but there are three main languages in the Eskimos. The three main languages are Aleut, Yupik, and Inupiaq. Aleut, Yupik, and Inupiaq. These are the three main languages of Eskimos. Eskimo languages have been spoken for thousands of years, but they were not written down until modern times. Some years ago, there was no script for their language, but nowadays they developed script for their languages. Many people were educated nowadays in the Eskimos. Population of Eskimos. Today the Eskimo population is not large, but it is growing. There are more than 183,000 Eskimo people alive today. Among these, 85,000 are living in North America, 50,000 people are living in Greenland, and rest of the Eskimos are living in Siberia. Group life of Eskimos. We knew already the man is a social animal. We cannot live alone. We can live only in group. As like us, the Eskimos live in fairly small groups. They can live in small groups and even small villages, and towns. There are villages of over 500 people on the northern Alaska coast. In the northern Alaska coast, there are small villages. The village population is nearly 500. In the eastern regions, the Eskimos live in a group. That group might have 25 to 45 people. In the eastern regions, the Eskimos live in groups. That group, each and every group has at least 25 to 45 people. They did not have any permanent settlements. They move from place to place. That is why they live in groups. Eastern groups move from place to place throughout the year, following a fairly fixed order of seasonal activities. Some moments ago in this lesson, we have discussed already the climate is very cold. During the winter season, the water bodies turn into ice. So, there is a scarcity of food. The animals and birds migrated to warm areas, and it is not possible to catch the fish during the winter season. So, the eastern groups of Eskimos move from place to place to search the shelter and to search the food and to escape the harsh conditions. So, they spend the winter near the coast. When the winter season begins, they move from inland areas to coastal areas. So they left the inland areas and reached the coastal areas. In that coastal areas, they can hunt for the seals and fishing. In summer season, they move inland to hunt caribou and gather berries. So when the summer season begins, they started migration from coastal regions to inland areas. So in that region, they can hunt caribou and they can gather berries. So what we have understood, during the winter season, they spend near the coast region, and during the summer season, they return to the inland areas. So in this process, they cover a circuit of about 1100 kilometers. So during this migration, they cover almost 1100 kilometers of distance. So they cover 1100 kilometers distance during this migration. Transportation in tundra region. To move from place to place, from region to region, they use sledges, umiaks and kayaks. They use sledges, umiaks and kayaks. Umiaks and kayaks also used for fishing and hunting. What is called a sledge? A sledge is a land vehicle that slides across a surface, usually of ice or snow. It is built with either a smooth wooden frame or a steel frame. It has no wheels. It is pulled by polar dogs called huskies. The sledge is generally pulled by polar dogs called huskies. See children, how the Eskimos are traveling, how they are using the sledge. It is very difficult to travel from place to place in this region. They cross snow and ice on sledges pulled by dogs. What is umiak? An umiak is an open boat. It is made with a wooden frame and a seal or walrus skin. It is in lightweight. Generally, the Eskimos use this umiak to cross the rivers and for hunting and fishing. What are kayaks? Kayaks are small canoe-like boats made of animal skins stretched over a wooden frame. Kayaks are small canoe-like boats made of animal skin stretched over a wooden frame. So the Eskimos used sledges, umyaks and kayaks for transportation. These are not only used for transportation but also for hunting and fishing. But in the recent times, nowadays, these are replaced by motor boats. Now they are using modern technology to move from place to place. Close cooperation is most important to survive in this harsh land. Why did the Eskimos live in groups? What would happen if they were not cooperated with each other? If they were not cooperated with each other, how did they hunt the whales, caribous, and seals? How did they build their homes? Not possible. That is why they live in groups. They cooperated with each other. So to build their homes, to catch the fish, to hunt the animals, to get the food, one must cooperate with another one. That is why they cooperated with each other and they usually live in groups. Group members would work together in activities such as hunting and fishing. For example, in the eastern groups, 10 to 12 hunters would be needed to harpoon seals at their breathing holes in the winter season. Generally, in the eastern regions, 10 to 12 members formed into a group and hunted the seals at the breathing holes in the winter season. Much larger groups, over 100 people, would work together to hunt caribou and a large sea mammals such as whales. Caribou means the reindeer in this Arctic region. To hunt these caribous and the whales, more than 100 people required, 100 people needed. To hunt the whales and seals, they used a weapon called harpoon. Harpoon is a weapon. It is used to hunt the seals and whales. Some activities are carried out by individuals and some small family groups. For example, tracking bears, fishing with nets, and gathering berries. All these activities are done by individually or in small family groups. Fishing and gathering berries, these activities are mostly done by women and children. Hunting and fishing. The Eskimos get their food by hunting, fishing, and gathering berries. Hunting, fishing, and gathering berries. Eskimos are highly skilled at these activities because they depend on hunting and fishing to live. What did the Eskimos hunt for their food? The Eskimos hunt whales, seal, polar bears, musk oxen, birds, Arctic fox, and fish. Caribou hunting is essential for nearly all Eskimo groups. Caribous are hunted in the inland during summer and early autumn. Just now we have discussed already, they hunt in groups. The Eskimos used different methods and different techniques to hunt the animals. They do not use same method and same technique to hunt the animals. The hunting techniques were dependent on the climatic conditions and the place where they are living. Hunting techniques. Although hunting techniques differed from culture to culture, three major strategies were used. The Eskimos mostly used three major strategies. They were communal driving into enclosures and bodies of water, individual or small group stacking, and trapping. I am repeating once again. The techniques used by Eskimos were: first one, the communal driving into enclosures and water bodies. Second one, individuals or small group stacking. And the third one, trapping. First one, the communal driving into enclosures and water bodies. Generally, this trick is used by large-scale hunting. The large-scale hunting involved driving the animals into the open where they could easily be killed. This technique generally used when the caribous are migrating from place to place, when the caribous are crossing the rivers. Caribous are driven by rows of people into lakes or narrow streams. The caribous are driven by rows of people into lakes or narrow streams. The hunters chased the caribous into the lakes and narrow streams. Once the caribous land in the water, the hunters waiting there kill them with weapons. Once the caribous land in the water, the hunters waiting there kill them with their weapons. Generally, they hunt the caribous by speared, shot with bows and arrows, and even harpooned. Sometimes Eskimos set up piles of stones in long lines. Stone piles were built to frighten the animals to cross the rivers at specific locations, where men waited in canoes to ambush the animals. See children, these are the stone piles. They built these stone piles one by one in a line. To the caribou, the stones looked like people in the distance. When the caribous observed the stone piles, they thought they were real human beings. So the caribous would turn away from the lines of stones and be caught. So after the hunting, the caribou were shared among the groups of hunters. Fishing. For some groups, fishing is as important as hunting. Fish are netted in the deep muddy waters or through holes in the ice. We knew already all the water bodies covered with ice and snow throughout the year, especially during the winter season. During the winter season, they made holes to catch the fish. In summer season, they catch the fish by using the nets. Generally, they netted in deep muddy waters to catch the fish. They also used spears to catch the fish. They speared the fish in shallow, clear waters at their weirs. Eskimos trap fishes using weirs. What are called weirs? Weirs are low dams of stones placed across the streams. Weirs are fences built across a river, restricting the path of fish. It has one exit. That means the mouth, which leads to the weir. The fishes swim through the mouth and get caught in the weir. Fish are chased into the weir by people wading in the stream and are caught by skilled hunters with three-pronged spears. Eskimos also use barbless bone hook to fish through holes in the ice in winter or from the edge of the ice in the spring. They use barbless bone hook to fish through the holes in the winter season from the edge of the ice in the spring season. They also harpooned the seals from the edge of the ice floe or from the kayaks. They also harpooned the seals from the edges of the ice floe or from the kayaks. Dear children, till now we have discussed who are called Eskimos. How many groups are there in Eskimos? What languages do they speak? How do they transport from place to place? How did they hunt and fish, and what methods and techniques did they use? I hope you understood. Thank you for watching.